So, shall we go on to the last two fixtures of the weekend?
Yeah, and you can start seeing as the first one on the Sunday, we're talking about the games on Sunday here, is Manchester City at home to Everton.
It is. It feels like a very long time since City last played, because we played on the 12:30 game on Saturday, obviously the Manchester derby. Yeah, it feels like an eon since City played last.
A while, isn't it?
Obviously that game I'm going to have to say a little bit, okay, on the derby, we're brilliant. Barely got out of second gear and wiped the floor with Manchester United. And at Old Trafford, could have easily been more than 2-0, easily, if we'd even bothered to get out of second gear. And yeah, hats off to the guys. I thought they were brilliant, and I'm well chuffed. So
he looked it as well, doesn't he?
So going on, I was super chuffed.
Like a bird with a new toy, isn't
Yeah. So yes, going on to the game, City versus Everton. Everton have had a massive slide, but solidified a little bit last week. 2 weeks ago, sorry, against Tottenham. Conte's first game in charge. We're given a lot of credit actually for the way they played in that game. They were a bit more solid against Wolves in the second half of the game against Wolves. Obviously got a goal back against them. Everton, under Benitez, he's a wily dog. He's not going to be taken for a mug at the Etihad. But I still think City are going to win. I think City have got too much for Everton.
I agree. I think Manchester City have far too much for Everton. Obviously, I mean, we've spoke in other videos about Everton, about Rafa. Spent 1.7 million. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all he had.
But they've been bought by a group who said they were going to invest in the club as well. That's the thing. So it's that investment's. Benitez was supposed to be the man they brought in to secure the investment.
When's it coming? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. That's next Ben, isn't it, as well?
Yeah. But I mean, he got a lot of loans in. So anyway, he spent very little money. Obviously, like you say, there's been a slide, but they've had a lot of injuries.
Ducourt and Calvert-Lewin.
Yeah.
Most significantly.
Massive. Calvert-Lewin, massive.
Because there isn't another really recognised striker. Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I just think Manchester City have got too much firepower for them. And, yeah, I mean, without talking too much about it, I'm going for a Manchester City win.
Yeah, I think what I criticised previously in the I mean, obviously against Watford, conceding 5 goals was their defence. Now, if you go into a game with City with a dodgy defence, that's not a good.
You'd get pulled apart.
Yeah,
you'd get pulled apart, like simple as that.
Go on. He's going to go controversial.
Yeah,
he's making out he's going to go controversial, but then he's going to go, I'm going to go City.
I'm not going to go controversial. Okay, I'd be stupid to go controversial. I think Benitez, maybe at the moment he's waiting for the January or the transfer window in the summer. I think, he's working.
Is he waiting for the January sales for to buy a cheap quote?
Well, I think that maybe his plan was to go inside there, get an idea of the players that he has, any players in the academy that he can bring in. And let's not forget, Everton didn't start off too badly.
No, Everton started off brilliantly. I mean, Townsend was playing the form of his life.
So,
but all of a sudden, it's like they haven't got a clue.
No, I agree with you. I think Everton. I mean, like you said, Everton didn't start badly. They did all right.
Yeah, but you're saying that they're playing like they don't have a clue. Okay, is it because they don't have a clue, or is it because they're missing some fundamental players due to injury?
Well, yeah, but I mean that's up front, really. That's up front. Obviously, to cause influential midfielder, but he's more of an attacking midfielder, if you like, as well. Then you've got Calvert-Lewin who's out as an attacker. But what they were clueless against Watford. And also in the first half against Wolves was defensively. They just could not They didn't have any organisation whatsoever.
Just
Now, obviously, they solidified that a little bit against Tottenham. Tottenham didn't have that many chances on goal.
Yeah,
that's a typical Conte team. We know he's negative manager. He's much more focused around defence. He's an Italian. He's always on about the spoiler ball rather than
likes buses, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, that's what they're always like here.
Coaches.
That's why I don't watch Italian football because it's boring. Because it's all about defensive. Yeah, and they solidified it against Kane, who's not been in form, and Son, who's come back from injury, but also played quite well as well. They've had those two against them and done all right. But are Everton solid defensively when they're playing against a team that's playing defensively? When they come up against a team this week, which is massively attacking.
Well, look. I think it's plain. I think everyone expects a Manchester City win. Okay, but you've got to remember something. I'm going with Man City, but you've got to remember something. We all went with Chelsea. We all went with Liverpool. We all went with Brentford to beat Norwich.
We all went with City to beat Crystal Palace.
Yeah, so, I mean...
It can change. Yeah.
The Premier League, throws curveballs.
Oh, massively.
Results that you're expecting don't come in. Now, I'm pretty sure that they've been working on the training pitch on their deficiencies in defence, okay, or at least I hope they are. That said, I don't think it doesn't matter how much they work on it. I can't see them holding City. City are just too strong.
City have failed to score in a few games this season. Crucially against Tottenham, crucially against Crystal Palace. It's become our little problem this year. And a lot of people are talking about us getting a number 9 in, a proper number 9. Maybe Haaland. Obviously famously failed with Kane in the summer. Maybe Vlahovic from Fiorentina, although I think he's going to go to Juventus. So, they are looking at players, I think, to fill that number 9, and that is where we've lacked this season a little bit.
But City do have a plus 16 goal difference.
Yeah.
So they can score even playing with a false 9. They've proven that. On numerous occasions.
They're scoring goals.
And that depends. That depends on the defence, though. So this is why I'm saying I think it's this weekend. It's going to be City to beat Everton, is because Everton's defence has become a bit porous, whereas some defences that we've come up against, like Crystal Palace's, aren't that porous. Tottenham's wasn't that porous at the start of the season. They were winning games 1-0.
Yeah.
1-0, 1-0, 1-0. So. Yeah, Everton have been victorious, but then again they did hold out Tottenham. But I think, Everton.
I do believe with Tottenham, you're talking about Tottenham at the start of the season. I do believe there was an element of luck.
Luck in that, absolutely.
An element. I do believe that. They kind of got away with murder, in some games. To be fair,
So this kind of nicely ties into the next fixture, which is. Tottenham.
Yeah.
And they are playing.
I told you already. Let me go back to it because even I've forgotten now. Okay. Tottenham at home to Leeds.
They're at home to Leeds.
My memory's going.
Well, obviously, Tottenham, new manager. Very short stay for Espirito Santo. Who they got rid of.
But he was not their first choice. And then...
No.
And Conte was probably up there in one of their first choices, but... for whatever reason, they didn't approach him at that time, but they have done now.
I was under the impression that he was approached and he said no the first time round.
I think he did.
Yeah.
I think he did.
Yeah, he turned them down the first time round.
I think he turned them down, yeah. It was probably...
I know Fonseca did. Fonseca was in there, it was almost like penciled in. And that's why Conte didn't sign, because he thought it was already done deal with Fonseca.
Well, apparently Fonseca didn't want the job because they wanted him to play a more defensive style of football, and Fonseca is not about that.
Which suits Conte, though. Okay, but I didn't hear that, so.
Obviously, new manager, I don't know. I don't know if I really like his football.
I don't.
I find it a bit
I really
boring.
can't stand it. Yeah. It is.
Wouldn't be for me. I mean, he was even, I remember when he was linked with the Newcastle job. And I mean, everybody was.
You're like, kind of like,
but I was kind of
hiding behind the pillow, sort of like, being, no, please, no.
No, yeah, just like, you know, he'd park a tank in front of the bus, and you'd have a bus in front of the goal, and then a tank, you know what I mean? He's not very defensive minded.
But hold on, when he was manager for Inter, they were scoring goals. They were scoring goals.
Yeah, but
they were good in defence, but they were scoring goals. Yeah, so you know, I don't know, because
not myriads, like myriads of goals.
Not like Manchester City, if you like, okay, or Chelsea at the moment.
I mean, obviously Conte knows that. I mean, he can't just be defensive. He has to attack, otherwise you can't win a game.
I think
one more than you. So
I think what Conte does, okay, right, is he builds his team from the defence upwards,
which is a classic way to build your team, isn't it?
Yeah. So I wouldn't really criticise Conte, and I disagree with you two that it's all negative. I think what he does is he builds his team from the defence, okay, like the old Arsenal used to do. Yeah. Okay, time of George Graham.
1-0 to the Arsenal.
Yeah, okay, it was 1-0 to the Arsenal. Okay, but we had a solid defensive line.
Yeah, but it was a bit boring though, wasn't it?
Well, it wasn't. Well, it wasn't when Arsene Wenger took over, and we still had a solid defensive line, and then he brought in the flair players.
Right.
So you can have both.
Fair enough.
You know, a solid defensive line and the flair players.
I think that transition from George Graham to Arsene Wenger was different for several other reasons, rather than it just being from solid defence to flair players. I mean, it was famous that there used to be a little bit of the
but that was a culture. That was a culture back in the day, and you know that was all across.
He changed
football.
He changed the culture of football in England, basically.
You look at Arsenal now, for example. Okay, right, we're in that kind of style. Okay, we have a solid defensive line now, but we're also creating,
able to attack and counter. Not just counter, but also put pressure on.
Exactly. So I don't see anything wrong with it if that's how he plays. Now, the person I say parks the bus and really parks the bus is Jose Mourinho. And I don't think Conte is on that level.
I mean, obviously, on the other side of this fixture, Leeds are not doing so well.
But a completely different style of management.
Well, I mean,
Bielsa is famed for his attack. Great football, great to watch. I think I said previously, he was Guardiola's essentially inspiration. Basically, he always credits Bielsa for that. And the fact that you keep the ball and you play football. Whereas, Conte is completely. I mean, this is great head-to-head of styles, isn't it?
Massively.
Yeah.
But our Leeds this year.
Well, they haven't been up to the standards of last season. That's for sure.
No, without a doubt, without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, actually, last season, we were blessed with all that football, weren't we?
Bielsa's style of football, brilliant. Fighting for each other. Amazing to watch. Yeah,
they were great to watch. They were a good team to watch last season. This season,
Rafinha's had like a really brilliant season. So I think he scored half of Leeds' goals nearly this season. 45% of Leeds' goals.
Class player.
Goal of the month. He was having it on his own, basically. It's like first goal Rafinha, second goal Rafinha. It was absolutely class act. But we were saying, who Leeds are missing at the moment is someone to score those other goals, and that person is obviously Bamford.
Yeah. He's missed 5 matches, including the Norwich one, and there is no return date for him, as far as I'm aware. So.
And he's a big miss. He's a massive miss for Leeds. And I think he is kind of you know, the missing piece in the puzzle for Leeds at the minute.
Well, they need some more goals. I mean, they can't just rely on Rafinha for those goals. You know,
No.
As good as he is, he's not a 15, 20 goals a season guy. You know,
No.
he's although he's taken on that role pretty well actually this time round. I think they definitely need that man in the box for Rafinha to put the balls into, which is what he's actually very good at. And that's maybe the difference between this season and last season with Leeds. So going into this game against Tottenham, what do you think?
Well, I think I'm looking at a Tottenham victory in this game.
Okay. Look, Bamford is.
Can I just interrupt?
Yeah, sorry.
2 seconds.
My
2
apologies.
seconds. No. It
Thought
was
you'd
my
finished.
fault. It was my fault. But I think just Harry Kane, there, playing for England, getting himself a hat trick.
A perfect hat trick.
A perfect.
I was about to
hat-trick.
bring that up. Yeah.
You know, he's that's going to have given him a great boost, and that's basically what I wanted to say. I think he'll be
His
out
third
in that
goal,
game
his completion of his
on
third goal to make his hat trick, his perfect hat trick, was a class finish as well.
Look, going back to Leeds, we haven't seen the Leeds of last season. We all agree with that. There's been a lot of injuries. Rafinha, I think, was out for 1 or 2 games. He didn't play against Wolves, and I think you were saying there was an extended.
Because of that, I don't know if you remember. Someone was telling me this about Brazil versus Argentina. And basically, the Brazilian authorities waiting for the Argentinian players to come onto the pitch.
Yeah, I remember that. You did something about that.
And then,
I did a video.
and then basically arrested them for not complying with quarantine. So basically, that fixture had to be replayed, and that extended the window in one of the international breaks, which basically meant they played at like 1 a.m. on a Friday morning in the UK. And then the games were kicking off at 3 o'clock on a Saturday.
But then you also had Calvin Phillips out.
Yeah.
Okay. Patrick Bamford, who's long-term injury, and we don't know when he's coming back in. Ayling,
ankle injury, is it?
Yeah, an ankle injury. Ayling.
Cock, is it?
Koch.
Yeah.
Koch, I call him Koch. I don't know if I pronounced it correctly. So he's been missing some players, okay, just to name a few. I don't know all the players.
And they've not got a big squad, because obviously they came up about the Championship the season before last, and that doesn't give you the ability to build a big Premier League squad, and when you're losing those key players, I think you do suffer.
Exactly.
Definitely. Yeah.
Definitely. So,
Without doubt.
You know, I expect Leeds to bounce back at some stage. Okay, once they've had all their players come back.
I don't think they're relegation material.
No.
I mean, they're looking at it at the moment, but I don't think they are relegation material. I think if they get a bit of form together, they'll be straight out of there.
Yeah, once Bamford is back in, and we don't know when he's going to come back. Okay, Ayling, Koch, and he's got his squad, which he had from last season. I think we'll see them playing to the same level because
And the level is what they were
because
last year.
Bielsa is a great manager, but as we said, he's attack. I'd have been happy to be a Leeds fan last season. The way they were playing. If I was a Leeds fan, I would have been a proud Leeds fan, because you're watching exactly football how it should be played.
How it should be played.
Leeds were never going to win the Premier League last year.
Exactly, yeah.
But what they did do is provide a lot of entertainment for the fans, and they provided a lot of entertainment for everybody else.
Yeah.
And they got people watching Leeds again.
Yes.
And I think that is a massive sort of like plus for Bielsa and the football club.
Absolutely.
And as soon as they can get back to that again this year, because let's face it, at the moment it's been a bit like, sort of like stuttering into the season. As soon as they get back that platform, which I'm sure they will, it's going to be great fun to watch Leeds again.
Absolutely. Completely agree.
So there we have it.
Yeah, but did you say who you think was gonna Tottenham? Yeah, Tottenham.
Yeah, I said that Tottenham.
I said Tottenham. You said Tottenham.
I hate saying Tottenham, but
Yeah, so totally right. But, yeah. I tell you what, I haven't heard "Mind the Gap" from any Tottenham supporters recently. I got you there, boy. Because when we were bottom, that's all I heard. My phone is just like messages: "Mind the gap, mind the gap, mind the gap, mind the gap." Anyway, I think we can close up this segment. Okay, so with that, okay, thank you very much for watching our pick and mix. Okay, as young Matt has named it. And if you like the videos, please press like. Any comments you have, please put it in the comment section. We always try to respond to all the comments, or at least I do, and so does Keeper, and so does Matt. I've had a few technical problems in replying, but as a threesome, I'm sure these two are more technically, technologically minded.
Hey,
no,
what's in that wine?
No. I put a reply, and it says reply added.
Oh, it's a
And then it just goes missing. Anyway, as I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted by this one. Okay, put your comments underneath. We will reply to your comments. Share if you'd like to share. Okay, you'll be doing us a favour. If you haven't subscribed us yet, please subscribe. Misha, I'm out.
Me, Keith, I'm out. Thanks for watching. And remember, try and hit that subscribe button. It helps us out a lot. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, thank you again for all of you who've watched. It's lovely to have your support. And yes, the subscribe button is really important to us at the moment. If you can hit that, that'd be absolutely brilliant. That's me, Matt, and from the guys, we're all out.